Hello and welcome back everyone, we Weeb online, and today I'm gonna start a new series, What If Naruto Became Loli Kurama's Onii-chan Part 1. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and to watch more videos like this, subscribe to my channel and turn that bell notification on so you never miss an upload. Now wasting no more time, let's begin.
Why? Where the hell am I? Uzumaki Naruto was perplexed by the strange structure he had found himself in. It was a desolate, old structure, its original colors long replaced by the colors of aging. The passage he was in stretched beyond his field of vision, and lateral passages emerged from both sides, their lengths consumed by darkness beyond comprehension. Strange ductwork ran through the walls and ceiling, and water flooded the entire space almost to his hips. "Wow, what the?" muttered Naruto to himself. He had to think. It was not an activity he particularly enjoyed or practiced, but he could put up with it when it became necessary. He would normally sit down, cross his legs, and make a face, but he would drown if he did, so he just made the face. Last I remember, that Jerkiro-senin pushed me off the cliff. I'm going to get him for that. And then I tried to grab that rock, but I slipped. With each word, his face crunched up more and more until it reached a critical point. "What the hell is going on here?" He yelled to no one in particular. "Kaya?" yelled a voice in the distance. "Kaya?" Naruto asked again. That's when he felt it, what he would have felt since the moment he arrived, if he hadn't been too busy complaining and questioning no one. This sensation, caused it's by that chakra. The strange yet undeniably powerful chakra assaulted his senses like an odd amalgam of sound, scent, and taste. Naruto followed it as it grew stronger until he arrived at the jail. Naruto could only gape at the enormity of the beast. The massive metal bars were as thick as Naruto himself and towered over him. In place of the lock, a large paper strip with the kanji for seal stood. He also noticed that the water level in this room had dropped to the point where only his feet were submerged. "Is this sob? Majuo. Naruto couldn't help but make an odd face when he heard strange sounds from beyond the bars. Despite the jail's subtle "don't get any closer" vibe, he couldn't help but move forward. The sounds, in all their strangeness, sounded like someone crying. Naruto could never ignore something like that. "Is anyone there?" Jaya. Naruto pursued the sound and caught sight of a small figure creeping away from him, deeper into the darkness. He didn't need advanced chakra sensing abilities to figure out that the mysterious figure was the source of the strange chakra that seemed to flood the entire area. Hello?" His response was a gasp from within the darkness. He was about to say something else when the other one interrupted him. Who is there? Naruto's eyes blinked. The voice was undeniably female. If he had to guess, it was a very young girl's. So, where was he, and why was a little girl locked up in a big-ass jail? He hoped to get some answers soon, despite the fact that he was supposed to be falling to his death. Uzumaki. Naruto. I guess. Exclaimed the girl. If Naruto had to describe it in a single word, he would have chosen excited. The patchy sounds of feet splashing water reached his ears just as the lone inhabitant of the cell appeared in front of him. He would have seriously considered fleeing screaming if he had been warned. No fucking way. She was dressed in nothing. There is nothing, unless you consider ears, fur, and 9 tails to be clothing. As she moved, the tips of her exaggeratedly long, plain hair left wriggly trails on the water. The hair was the same color as the fur that covered her legs all the way up to mid-thigh. Her eyes, her startlingly large red eyes, stared at him as if she were in the presence of the ultimate truth. Her 9 bushy, white-tipped, fluffy tails wagged up and down, right and left, with no apparent control from the girl, who appeared to be concentrating her entire brain capacity on memorizing his face. Naruto, on the other hand, was dealing with some internal issues. No way He relied on his mouth to get out of this bind because his mind was unable to form coherent thoughts. It wasn't difficult because I was used to speaking before thinking. He clutched at straws, barbed wire straws that are extremely thin. Kyuubai. The girl just stared. She didn't even flinch. Naruto claims she isn't even breathing. Hello? Naruto insisted, leaning forward to get closer to the girl beyond the bars. Jaya. The girl was apparently startled by Naruto's sudden movement, letting out a deafening shriek as she collapsed on her naked rear. A long and uncomfortable silence followed, broken only by the irritating click of water droplets falling from duct leaks and the occasional sobs from the wide-eyed 9-tailed little girl. Naruto tried again, unsure of what to say. Are you okay? One more sob from the girl. Naruto immediately recognized the way her body was trembling. He'd seen it before in babies and young girls. She's going to cry, call me. Why? The girl wailed and dashed towards him, her arms outstretched, clearly intending to wrap Naruto in a hug. As the seal kicked in and electrocuted the little girl, Naruto had to wince and turn away from the bright fireworks. He might have realized it couldn't be real electricity had he been in a different state of mind, or he would have been suffering in the same way, with all the water around. Okay, that's just plain sad, Naruto was thinking when he saw a twitching, smoking Nine-Tails. Are you okay, Majiu? What exactly does that mean, Majiu? The girl said again as she struggled to stand. Naruto shivered but dashed to help the child, seemingly unaware that he had just walked through the seal and into the cell. Hey hold on, I'll help you. The girl, on the other hand, stiffened when his hand touched her left shoulder. Her body relaxed after an awkward moment of silence, and her left hand gripped the fabric of his orange pants. Naruto wrapped his right arm around her lower back and rested his hand on her right side, eliciting a tiny squeak from the girl, who just let herself be lifted. He quickly checked for any visible wounds, but the shock did not appear to be as severe as it appeared. The young lady was still sobbing and wiping away tears with her left arm. Naruto lowered his body once more to get closer to eye level. Hello, are you oh? The girl burying her face on his belly stunned him to silence. Her tails, which moved to her front as if attempting to hug him, irritated him even more. Oh oi, I was Onii, however that is defined. Naruto said nothing else, allowing the girl fox girl to cry in his clothes. After the girl had dried her tears, introductions were made. Naruto had already realized he was trapped inside the cage. He simply shrugged and went along with the flow. After all, he wasn't dead yet. They sat because the water inside the cell was very shallow. It had taken a full 5 minutes to get the girl off his lap. He didn't mind children sitting on his lap because the situation was already wrong. She was right in front of him, her knees brushing up against his shoes. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. Sayuri Higashiyama. Naruto's eyes blinked. That was the answer he least expected for some reason he couldn't fathom. All right, Sayuri. Naruto Nyai-chan. A shudder spread from his scalp to his toes. Naruto's inner dictionary defined wrongness as that moment from then on. Sure. So, you are. Naruto muttered, casting an odd glance at the tails, which seemed to move on their own. Akiko of the Higashiyama clan, she exclaimed, her tails wagging wildly. I have 9 tails, and they're pee-wetty. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Naruto was known for being a particularly loud person. However, a significant change began to occur at that time and on that day. For starters, he saved her self-description of Kiko for later investigation. If he ever got the chance. That is, you're the Kyuubi. The fox girl nodded enthusiastically. She was obviously pleased with her position. Yes, Sayuri is a Kyuubi. Naruto was unaware of the change in article. Your name is Nine-Tailed Demon Fox. Sayuri cocked her head. No, that's not Sayuri's name. Sayuri is Sayuri, she exclaimed joyfully, wagging her tails. She abruptly removed her fox ears as she entered her version of deep thought. Because Sayuri's name is Sayuri. Sayuri is Sayuri. If Sayuri wasn't Sayuri, Sayuri wouldn't be Sayuri. But Soyuri. Naruto dripped sweat. What exactly does that mean? Onii-chan, what does that mean? How am I supposed to know? Screamed Naruto, drawing a kaya. Majiu. From the tiny fox girl. Naruto's ability to yell and shudder at the same time was impressive. Anyway, you're the 9 tails who had Konoha attached when I was born. Ie. Attack. Sayuri. Konoha. Naruto made an odd face before exploding once more. However, you attacked the village. Sayuri was quick to express his emotions. Sayuri didn't. Sayuri's a good girl. Sayuri would never hoot anyone. She paused, her eyes rising in memory. Ooh, there was that time and that one but it wasn't my fault. Ooh. Naruto clutched his head, attempting to extract useful information from what the little fox girl had just said. Whatever, moo. You're the 9 tails who attacked Konoha. I didn't, cried Sayuri, tears welling up in the corners of her eyes. Sayuri is a lovely young lady. So, what were you doing when you ended up here? Sayuri's angry mode quickly reverted top-outy mode. Sayuri was just she paused, covering her mouth with her tiny hands and trying to hide the blush on her cheeks. Her foxy ears pointed straight up. Naruto simply stared. Kyuubi's attack secret was about to be revealed. He was not going to get to hear it. His eyes glowed with a ferocious intensity that pierced the little girl's frail mental defenses. Her ears gradually dropped as she became embarrassed. Sayuri was just, she said again. Naruto's pupils constricted even more. Sayuri whimpered and lowered her face and ears. If Naruto wasn't well, He wasn't sure what he felt, but it wasn't a good feeling. Anyway, if he hadn't been feeling however he was feeling, he would have thought the sight was adorable. Sayuri was only, Sayuri said a third time. The blush had spread throughout her skin, darkening her rosy complexion. The little girl exploded because she couldn't take the pressure of Naruto's angry stare any longer. I was just going after my tails. There is a long pause. Her reluctance had been completely crushed. There was no stopping her tongue any longer. See, Sayuri was all why? You know, cause Sayuri got the 9 tails, Sayuri explained, using wide arm gestures and tone changes for emphasis. Yeah, so Sayuri was all yup. And Sayuri was testing her new powers, and Sayuri became wow. Ooh, eyes big. Sayuri was like wow, so cool. And then Sayuri saw her big tails and was like tails. And Sayuri went like wish. Naruto couldn't help but stare as the little fox girl rolled on the damp floor, her tiny arms reaching for the fluffy tails, which moved away from the eager limbs. And Sayuri rolled all the way to the sea. Sayuri got all wet. Yuck cky. She raised her arms over her head. And this huge amount of water got me even much wetter. Yucky. Oh, and the water fell on this tiny human town thingy and the town vanished. Naruto paused. However, it didn't matter because Sayuri had just rolled over them. Naruto gaped even wider. Anyway, Sayuri was all wet and yucky, so Sayuri started shaking. You know, like this. Sayuri shook like a dog dealing with wet fur. This time, not even angry Naruto failed to notice how adorable her actions were. But he was still angry. But then everything got blown away, like whoosh. Sayuri threw her arms to the sides, indicating that the winds raised by her colossal form blew away everything around her. And the water was flying, and the trees were flying, and the houses were flying, and the pigs were flying. Well, I think they were pigs. They were really small, you know, cause Sayuri was big, so, well, pigs. Naruto trembled. So Sayuri became very scared because Sayuri did not want to fly, and Sayuri does not like tall places. Naruto gave his best WTF expression. She had transformed into a monstrous fox of doom. That's equivalent to a plus 32 size bonus to strength. And she was the one who made everything fly. So Sayuri ran away. Naruto remained silent. Or, more accurately, Sayuri continued before Naruto could say anything. So Sayuri looked around and I was in, like, a town or something. Her face became animated. There was also a big festival. Yup, festival. Because, you know, everyone was screaming really loud. And everyone was, like, running around, and there was lots of fire. Yup, festival. Because, you know, everyone was screaming really loud. And everyone was, like, running around, and there was lots of fire. Naruto sighed. Sayuri wanted to join in the fun, so I devised my trick. Naruto actually paused before asking the question. What's your trick? Yup. On cue, tiny flame balls formed on the tips of Sayuri's tails. Kitsune fire. Tiweti. The 9 fireballs started moving clockwise behind Sayuri, forming a perfect circle. Sayuri played with them like this for a while. But then I skewed up and they fell, but nobody cared. It was great. Oh no, Kami. So Sayuri kept doing more and more tricks until the festival ended. I think everyone just went silent, and I didn't even notice them leave. They did not vanish. Instead, they were reduced to ashes. Naruto reached a conclusion. Sayuri assumed that everyone had gone to sleep, so she left because she didn't want to bother. Naruto's eyes blinked. So Sayuri was twatting around when this human suddenly appears on my nose. Naruto smirked. This was unique. Human. Yup, human. He had this really funny thing on his head, like a mask or something. And he said his name was Amadia or something. And he said he needed my help. And I was like, sure. Because mama always told me I had to be nice to people. Madawa. That would be Madara. Nope. Doesn't sound familiar. Yup. So Madawa tells me to look at his eyes. But it was Wa. Naruto sighed and rolled his eyes. He knew he should be angry or terrified, but it was extremely difficult for him. But then Sayuri remembered Mama saying that people get hurt if they fall from a great height, so Sayuri went to look for him. Sayuri got to this town, you know, and Sayuri was going to ask if they had seen Madawa, but they started throwing all these nasty things at me. And the nasty things stung. Naruto's face became stern. She had clearly arrived in Konoha. Sayuri thinks it was another festival because there was screaming and fire, but I didn't like it because the nasty things stung. And I wanted to leave, but I had to find Madawa. You know, cause if Madawa got hurt, Sayuri was a bad girl, and Sayuri doesn't want to be a bad girl. Sayuri's a good girl. Naruto had so many potential responses by this point that he couldn't bring himself to say any of them. So the Kyuubi girl went on. so I was looking for Madawa, looking everywhere, but people were flying everywhere, so I couldn't find him. I didn't know humans could fly. Naruto Nai-chan. Can you fly? No. Alwa. Poor Onii-chan. Naruto simply allowed the cringing to wash over him until it was properly grounded. He did, however, notice a change in Sayuri's expression. She had lowered her head and appeared depressed. Huyubai. I mean saw Sayuri chan. Then Sayuri's shoulders shook slightly. Then this big and ugly toad showed up, and I thought. The shaking became more pronounced, and her voice became shaky. Naruto began to feel unsettled. I thought they'd start a new game, so I was relieved, cause I didn't like the stingy things. Naruto could see that she was crying at this point. But then, there was this blue flash ... and Shinigami-sama appeared, Sayuri said before sobbing loudly. Naruto smirked. Shinigami. Shinigami-sama ... Sayuri turned to face the blonde child. Naruto was moved by her bloodshot, teary eyes and flushed cheeks. He simply couldn't deal with sad children, owing to his own sad memories, even if said children are capable of unconsciously annihilating small nations. With his knife, he stabbed me. Naruto grimaced. And it hurt. It really hurt. When Sayuri buried her face in Naruto's chest, embracing him as if her life depended on it, Naruto didn't flinch. His hands hesitated, but he eventually decided to place them on her back. It hurt so much. The girl muttered between sobs, wails, and tears. It hurt and I cried and I called for mama and then and then I was here. And I've been here for so long, and it's so bowing, and wet, and one-way. I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to see Mama, and Sayoko-chan, and ... Naruto remained eerily silent throughout the fox girl's lamentations of pain, sorrow, and loneliness. But, seriously, what could he say in response? Naruto clarified things for Sayuri after she stopped crying once more. He told her she had been sealed inside his body by the yondaime. Look, Sayuri-chan, if I knew how to get you out of here right now, I'd do it right now. He scratched the back of his head. I don't believe you're a bad person ... fox ... girl ... thing ... Sayuri's eyes blinked. I am nothing, Naruto Nai-chan. For the third time, Naruto cringed. That was not going to change anytime soon. However, I'm content. Naruto was the next to blink. Because Sayuri is no longer alone, Sayuri now has Naruto Nai-chan. Wiggle, wiggle. Naruto blushed slightly as a result of this. Being appreciated was an unusual luxury for someone like him ... even if it came from an unknowingly genocidal fox ... girl. Sayuri hadn't moved away from Naruto after her second crying fit. She simply made herself at home on his lap once she regained her composure. Her back rested on his chest, which was difficult due to all the fluffy tails. Naruto quickly realized that Sayuri enjoyed the sensation of his hand caressing her tails, as well as the fact that her ears were extremely sensitive and ticklish. While they had plenty to talk about, Naruto hadn't forgotten that he was still on the verge of death. He made a pinky swear to meet her away as soon as he could. Sayuri promised to try to contact him while he was in the outside world. Of course, she did not say it that way. After saying her goodbyes, Sayuri released her chakra and gave it to the boy. It was a stark reminder that the sweet little girl was, in fact, a powerful supernatural being capable of unimaginable devastation. He looked nervously at the orange-red chakra tongues that seemed to want to invade him and swallow him whole. Sayuri's innocent expression as she unleashed her terrifyingly powerful chakra didn't do much to calm him down. He blinked and was back in the outside world. As the delayed feedback of massive body damage suddenly hit his pain receptors, his mind shattered in unfathomable agony. He couldn't even open his eyes due to the pain, which was a good thing because he didn't want to see the bloody mess his broken body had become. Seems like you fell into the pit thingy while we were talking. Onii-chan. Oopsies. Naruto attempted to respond with the most heinous curse he could conjure. Unfortunately, his mind, overwhelmed by unbearable pain, was unable to come up with anything. But take a look. I can talk to you right now. Wow, hi. Even in his mind, Naruto's I hate my life sounded like a garbled yuhaguafu. He resigned himself to waiting as he felt the massive surge of Kitsune chakra that had already begun with his numerous wounds. Jiraiya was terrified to death. He noticed the resemblance to his father the moment he first saw Uzumaki Naruto. Seriously, how could anyone not see that Naruto was somehow connected to the fourth? In any case, how many blondes are there in Konoha? There aren't many. How many non-Yamanaka blondes are there? And Orochimaru referred to him as an idiot, jerk with a snake fetish, so he decided to train Naruto in any case, even if the boy was an idiot. Jiraiya guessed it was part of his allure. What better way to teach him than the summoning technique? He had to start following in the footsteps of his father and godfather. There was also the issue with Akatsuki and Orochimaru. Without a doubt, everything is done for the boy's benefit, right? Unfortunately, even if his life depended on it, the brat couldn't focus his chakra. He couldn't figure out how he learned to walk on water so quickly. So Jiraiya, in a stroke of brilliance, decided to experiment with the Kyuubi's chakra. Who needs chakra control when you've got all the chakra in the world? That is a brilliant plan. When it became clear that the brat was completely useless really, how difficult can it be to summon the diabolic energies of the most terrifying creature in existence? Jiraiya resorted to strengthening measures, specifically hurling Naruto off a cliff and hoping for the best. It was meant to work. To escape his predicament, Naruto was supposed to channel his inner badass, tap into the Kyuubi's chakra, and summon a big-ass frog. Then Naruto would say something like, "Awesome," and Jiraiya would pat the boy's head and smile proudly, and Naruto would grin like an idiot. It was the ideal godfather-godson bonding experience. Naruto had vanished into the darkness 5 minutes before. There will be no Kyuubi chakra, no big-ass frog, and no head patting. Jiraiya was nearly shitting his pants. Oshitoshitoshitoshitoshitoshi Kuchiyos no Jutsu. He was the one who summoned the big-ass frog in the end. Naruto tried to figure out how the hell he survived that fall as soon as the pain subsided enough to allow coherent thought. Sayuri, Inari bless her, attempted to assist him. They demonstrated that their combined intelligence is far greater than the sum of its parts. Indeed, their brain waves appeared to cause destructive interference. They did, however, solve the intellectual challenge with a plausible hypothesis. Sorta, within the bounds of what is permissible in shonen manga. Naruto had most likely collided with one of the stalactites protruding from the canyon walls at some point. He bounced from one to the other, taking dozens of weaker hits rather than one single devastating impact at the bottom. His clothes had held up well enough to get him back to his apartment with some dignity. Once he got out of the canyon. Of course. How are we going to get out of here, ni Onii-chan? Naruto felt the familiar shudder run through his body. We can't. The walls are too slick. We wait for Bakayaro Sennin to come down for us. Majuo. He's Mwini. Don't talk to him any longer. I dislike him. Of course, I'm not staying with that crazy bastard any longer than necessary. I'm leaving as soon as we get out of here. The impending Chunin exam finals hit him like a ton of bricks. I can't believe I squandered 3 weeks on Bakayaro Sennin. I've only mastered water walking. And the summoning technique stinks. Oh, Neji, take a look at me. I can conjure up tadpoles. I'm going to kick your $sign. Oh, I'm such a moron. What am I going to do? I dislike toads. Toads are bad. Sayuri, on the other hand, has had a very bad experience with the boss toad. Kitsune should be summoned. We're friendly and amusing. Also, Pewetty. Naruto's eyes blinked. That would be pretty cool. His mind conjured up an image of a massive fox paw squeezing Hyuga Neji. Squish, hey, Megasa cool. But I'm afraid I can't. Now that I have your chakra. Yep, anytime. Yeah, thank you very much, Sayuri-chan. But chakra alone is insufficient. I need to get stronger in order to defeat that Hyuga jerk and make him pay for looking down on me. A flashback to the Chunin prelims reminded Naruto of why he was so upset with Neji in the first place. Oh no, Hinata. Hinata, who are you? Naruto was about to tell the fox girl the entire story of the prelims when the voice of an old pervert interrupted him. Oi, Naruto. Are you still alive? I'm still alive and ready to kick your $sign. Bastard. He did not respond. For once, he felt like being deliberately cruel to someone. He was extremely enraged. Jiraiya discovered him at the bottom of the chasm, seated calmly on the gray, sandy ground. It was a good thing he didn't fall into the water current, which would have dragged him to Kami's unknown location. How are you, Naruto? Naruto returned his deadpan expression. He stood up calmly, as if he hadn't just dealt with a few 100-yard fall, walked over to the large toad Jiraiya had summoned, and jumped on its back. Oh no, Toad Sannin came to an end. I'm so sorry, Naruto. The boy raised his right index finger. They returned in silence. But Naruto's mind was a whirlwind of activity. What am I going to do? What can I possibly learn in 10 days? That Kitsune fire thing you showed me, Sayuri-chan. Yes, it is Pewetty. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Yes, I know it's lovely. Naruto sighed and rolled his eyes. Could you show me how to do it? That would be a total kick-ass. But you don't have tails. Hey, Kitsune Fire. I make it out of my tails. Naruto Nyai-chan, you don't have tails. With each repetition, the shudder became milder and milder. Maybe he'd get used to the strange way the Kyuubi addressed him one day. He just knew it wasn't going to happen anytime soon. Tails. Shoot. So, why the tails? Can't you just make it with your hands? Sayuri shrugged mentally. I believe Yuri Mama told me, but I always fall asleep when she's teaching me something. It's sagging. Yes, I understand how you feel. Naruto smiled softly as memories of Uruka-sensei flooded his mind. Yuri Mama, you say? Yup. Sayuri's mother's name is Yuri Mama. Well, I guess you had to have a mother. Naruto shivered at the thought of Kyuubi's mother. Yup. She's got 7 tails. She's snotty. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Isn't everything pee-wetty to you? Why no. Toads are unappealing. Old men are also fugly. That Skawi bear Yaokai is also fugly. Yaokai the bear. Yeah. He gives me a strange look. It does not appeal to me. I'm not sure why Urami Ni-chan calls him Pedobar. Okai ... So you have a sister as well. Sayuri possesses 7 Ni-chans. They are all wet. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Figures. The large toad eventually made it out of the chasm, knocking Naruto out of his mind. Naruto had already ninja dashed away before Jiraiya could even open his mouth. The hermit only stood there watching the orange figure vanish. So you've got 7 older sisters. He began a pleasant walk back to Konoha's metropolitan area once he felt he had traveled far enough. His mind immediately pictured 8 massive foxes destroying Konoha. It's not a pretty sight. Yup. Is it possible that they all have Yuri in their names somewhere? What? How did you find out? Naruto Nyai-chan, you're incredible. So I was correct. Naruto reluctantly smiled at the compliment. It was stupid to feel good after being praised by something like that, but that's what happened. Yup, we're the Pewetty Yuri sisters, all 7 of us. Naruto rested his hands on his brow and gazed up at the early autumn sky. Isn't it just a few days until his birthday? That's quite a bit of Yuri. Hehe, we have a big Yuri family. Isn't it difficult to have so many siblings? Naruto was an orphan, so he couldn't fathom being the youngest of so many siblings. Nope, we get along great. We're almost there. We're the Pewetty and happy Yuri sisters. That's nice ... but there's a lot of Yuri in your family. How did your mother come up with all of that Yuri? Yuri Mama is wa, but don't tell her I told you because she'll hit you. AC Chu, sneezed Higashiyama Yuri in a hidden shrine far from Konoha, her long hair like silver threads jumping and glittering in the sunlight. She sat on the wooden floor, looking out over the gardens she had grown herself many centuries before. Aura, she pondered. Someone must be talking about me, her beautiful, gentle, womanly frame exclaimed, laughing like a teenage human girl. I wonder if he's a handsome guy. Mom, a voice from behind cut into Yuri's amusement. Seriously, stop doing that, it's upsetting. HMPH, Yuri said, her face returning to its usual placid expression. Narrow eyes that were pools of liquid silver became lost in the all-too-familiar Higashiyama grounds. Let your mother amuse herself, Yuria. I understand, Naruto said in order to comply. So, what are the names of your sisters? This whole Yuri thing is a lot of fun. Oh, well, there's Haimuri Ni-sama. She is the oldest child. She has 6 tails, and she's very intelligent, pewetty, and nice. But not when she's haughty and weaning. She's got 2 daughters, Yurino-chan and Chiyuri-chan. So your sister's daughters are Yuri as well. Awesome. Yes, we're overflowing with Yuri. Anyway, they're what was it? Nutsies. Nieces. That's right. Thank you very much, Onii-chan. Shuddering ensues. They're my nieces, but all of them are older than me. It's extremely amusing. Yurin-chan possesses 5 tails. She's extremely amusing. She also makes the best food. It's really, really good. She also has 2 daughters, Yurio-chan and Yurina-chan. I spend a lot of time with them. Yurio-chan is always laughing, and Yurina-chan is very nice and kind. They're also older than I am. So there's Haimuri-san and Yurin-san, both of whom have 2 daughters. Urasani-chan possesses 4 tails. Mayuri-chan, her daughter, has 2 tails. She's a few years older than me. Probably around 20. Ew. Naruto was already afraid to inquire about Sayuri's age. Sayuri's voice became more quiet. Mayuri-chan is unusually quiet. It was extremely quiet. She never says anything ... as it's if she's very far away. I'm not sure. It's strange. Then her voice brightened up again. There's also Yuriko-chan and Yurika-chan. They're identical twins. They are extremely close and do everything together. And they're extremely amusing. They make the most amusing peewanks, but Yuri Mama is irritated with them because they refuse to find mates. They also have 3 tails. Sayuri had Naruto at pranks, and now he was dying to meet these Yuri twin pranksters. Yuri Oni-chan, too, has 3 tails. Yuriko-chan, Yuri Oni-chan, and Yurika-chan all have the same father. Yurimi-ni-chan and I share a papa, but he was always gone when I got my 9 tails. So you have 2 different fathers. How exactly does that work? In her cell, Sayuri shrugged. Yuri Mama meets a wicking male, they mate, and she has a kit. Naruto's eyes blinked. He guessed he wasn't ready to comprehend Kitsune culture. Wait, so the more tails you have, the older you get. Yup, a tale of hundreds of years. However, you are the youngest. Sayuri is 119 years old. Sayuri is both young and peewetty. So, how come you have 9 tails? Poker night with Kitsune. Naruto came to a halt. Excuse me, poker night with Kitsune. Sayuri repeated as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. Oh, I so have to hear this. No, wait. We were supposed to do something now, right? Right. We want to get you out of me, right? I guess we could try asking old man Hokage, but I don't think we can just ask him to break the seal. Why not? Naruto gulped. He wasn't really looking forward to explain to Sayuri that she wasn't particularly well liked in his village. He guessed she had an idea, but explaining to her the full extent of the village's hatred and fear towards her was something he'd rather avoid for as long as possible. At least until they made it back to the apartment. Nah, it just wouldn't work. So, how do I get Oji-san to talk? I'll have to be extremely cautious and subtle. Hey, Oji-san, can you break the 4th seal? Let it be known that Uzumaki Naruto has never been one for caution and subtlety. Naruto waited for the Hokage to stop choking and properly regain his breath. In the meantime, he tried to come up with more female names with Yuri. He didn't succeed. Naruto. He had to give the old man credit. He actually managed to put up a serious face and look decent after a hole of choking and coughing. What brought up such a question so suddenly? Truth be told, the Hokage and his guard were in high alert. Why could Naruto be asking such a thing? It could anything from a really bad joke to Kyuubi having taken control of his mind or something. Now, Naruto might not be a master of subtlety, but he actually put some thought into what he was going to say. Just a little. Well, just want to know if it's possible. I mean, shouldn't I know these things, so I can be ready and stuff you know just in case. Lame. Onii-chan. Yeah, I know. Sorry you had to hear that. He's so kicking me out after that. Naruto, please sit down. Score. Why? Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Now, Naruto, really? What brought this sudden interest in the 4th seal? Did something happen today? Naruto is actually a very fast thinker when the proper situation arises. Namely, when his ass is in trouble. He proved it quite blatantly during his first C-rank mission in Wave Country, and he would prove it again in this moment. The moment the third said those words, the first thing Naruto thought was, hey, I can get Bakero Sennin in trouble for this. You sure you not Kitsune? This led to a thorough and detailed description of his last 21 days with Jiraiya of the Sannin. Of course, Naruto first put special emphasis on Jiraiya's perverted antics, but at the sight of the stupid grin slowly taking form of the Hokage's face, Naruto soon realized there was a slight flaw in his plan, so he switched to emphasizing Jiraiya's rather deficient teaching methods. He really got a reaction when he began to describe Jiraiya's focus on him learning how to use Kyuubi's power, and the events that led to him being shoved off the edge of a chasm. He didn't mention Sayuri for obvious reasons. He was still dealing with her bizarre version of the attack on Konoha that wasn't really an attack. He didn't want to deal with the hassle of telling the story to someone else. Not yet. Maybe one day, when it becomes absolutely necessary and unavoidable. Yeah, that sounds fine. That Jiraiya. What is he thinking? The third hissed, his knuckles turning white with the force he used to grasp the edges of his rather large desk. From that point he was all serious business. Naruto, thank you for bringing this to my attention. It seems a long talk with my former student is due. That idiot was your student. Yes, when he was a genin like you are now. The Sandaime offered the boy a fond smile. Creepy. Naruto made his trademark frown, which further accentuated his fox-like face. Anyway, just keep him away from me. As it is right now I think Kyuubi is nicer than him. Sarutobi cringed together. That was pretty harsh. Alwa, Naruto Nyai-chan, I love you. And the cringing returned with renewed strength, as Sayuri had just unleashed a whole new level of wrongness. Seriously, there cannot be many things more wrong than Kyuubi saying she loves you. Despite the fact that he would deal with her on a constant basis from that day onwards, it would still be hard to get rid of the preconceptions of the vile, omnipotent beast of doom. Sayuri wouldn't help much either. Naruto, are you okay? I'm fine. The shuddering finally reached the crown of Naruto's head and dissipated. Bad memories. Well then, the Sandaime, finally dismissing Naruto's curiosity as a false alarm, regained his usual amicable mien. I'll talk to Jiraiya. I'll make sure he teaches you properly. Hell no. Naruto crossed his arms stubbornly. I'm not dealing with that perv again. Not even in your dreams. Not even close. No way. He's a weenie. Fugly weenie. The Elwisye. Naruto made an odd face for an instant at the sound of Sayuri blowing raspberries in his head. Sarutobi shot the boy a compassionate glance. Alright then, if that is your choice. He randomly shuffled the stack of papers on his desk. I'm sure Kakashi can give you some pointers in this last week, then. Naruto sighed and rolled his eyes. Yeah, the Kakashi who left Konoha with Sasuke the very moment the prelims were over to give him special training. That Kakashi, the third blinked, left Konoha, blink, with Sasuke-kun, blink, yeah, that pretty much means exactly what I said. Naruto retorted, deadpan. Why wasn't I informed of this? Naruto shrugged. How am I supposed to know? Check their places if you want. So, can I leave now? Well, we'll let the old man deal with Bakairo Sennin. Naruto declared once they were out of the administration building. And Kakashi-sensei, he's a nice old man. I like him, right? It's good to have at least the village leader on your side. Naruto had yet to realize he was talking out loud. What do you mean? Nothing. Naruto avoided the difficult topic one more time. You know, I'm kinda hungry. Still blissfully unaware of his rather one-sided conversation, Naruto ignored the looks he was getting. He was used to getting looks from people, he just didn't know that. For once, the looks didn't come from who he was, but from what he was currently doing. He nodded to himself and grinned widely for the whole world to see. Yup, it's time to eat. Wait, I want to taste food. Huh? How does that work? We're connected now. I see what you see and I hear what you hear. I feel what you feel and taste what you eat. Hey, that rhymed. So funny. Naruto rolled his eyes at the threnody of childish giggles that filled his mind. But he did have a question. Wow, you actually did all that. I'm a Nine-Tails. I can do anything. Sayuri blatantly bragged. Get out of my belly, then. Maju Onii-chan. Weenie. Naruto chuckled. Oh my god, I'm joking around with Kyuubi. That's when it hit him. I'm the only person on this village in the whole continent who is not afraid of Kyuubi. I'm fucking awesome. Onii-chan. Naruto's chuckling became cackling, which quickly turned into maniacal laughter. In the middle of the street. Oh yes, this Naruto is changing. Oi, a bowl of miso ramen, please. Naruto loudly announced himself to the chagrin of the few customers of Ikaraku Ramen. Claiming his usual stool, he shot a grin at the owner and one of his favorite people in the world, Chuchai. Naruto loves the old man because he makes ramen. It's love that comes from his stomach, so it's not queer. Was nowhere to be seen. Ah, Naruto. The ramen chef greeted the boy with his usual warm smile. Just one. Naruto grinned. Yup, today's special. We're talking it slew. He explained in what he thought was a smooth tone. The chef's daughter emerged from the back of the store, welcoming her favorite customer with a beautiful smile. And what makes today so special, Naruto-kun. Wahh. Naruto almost fell off his stool because of Sayuri's sudden shriek. What the hell? He got nothing but stares from every single person nearby, mostly of annoyance. But poor Iam was utterly stunned. Naruto felt blood rushing towards his cheeks. Oh crap, sorry. He dropped his head and tried to make himself as small as humanly possible. What the hell, Sayuri-chan? But Kitsune. Huh? She's Kitsune. What? That girl. She's Kitsune. What the? Kitsune. Naruto exclaimed in blatant disbelief. Once again, he got the attention of everyone nearby, but this time there were more than a few alarmed looks on him. Oh shit. Not bothering to apologize, Naruto simply slumped down on the bar and clumsily tried to cover his head with his arms. With little success, of course. Stop being silly. I am Nino-chan's Kitsune. She is Kitsune. Really, for Kami's sake, Sayuri-chan, there's no way in hell she can. From a corner of his right eye, Naruto caught Chuchai's daughter staring at him. While Chuchai had quickly turned back to his job and the customers were slowly returning to their meals, the look on Iam's face was what stopped Naruto's mental rant. Her eyes were round, too round, so were her pupils, and her mouth had taken the shape of a pretty cute owl. She stayed like that for a few seconds before her lips and her eyes finally relaxed, but she never took her eyes off him. Naruto blinked and turned to face her directly, his head still slumped on the bar. Iam blinked a few times before smiling. It was a smile he had never seen on the generally nice, homely girl. Her smile was supposed to be kind, warm and considerate. This one was playful, mischievous, and calculating. Oh crap, she's a kitsune. See, told ya, I knew it. See, huh? Onii-chan, I told ya she is kitsune. I told ya, I was right. Huh? See, Naruto Nai-chan, you see, I got it right. See, Naruto could only groan. He could actually feel Sayuri poking the floor of her jail. Alright, let's recap. When I asked Kakashi-sensei for training to beat that bastard Hyuga Neji, he dumped me off with the closet pervert. But it turns out that the guy's actually a pretty decent teacher. Showed me the water walking trick, pretty cool. Not that walking on water would help me beat Neji, but it's a start. But then he suddenly decides to act cool and gets his ass kicked by Iro Sennin. Onii-chan, I used my awesome Warok no Jutsu to get Iro Sennin to train me instead of closet perv. And he gives me the toad summoning contract. Whoop to fucking do. After 3 pointless weeks of walking on water and summoning tadpoles, the baka comes with the awesome idea of pushing me off a cliff. I mean, really, what the hell? I won't say I'm an expert in teaching and stuff, but even I can tell that's not a good idea. But he guessed it was cool, because the point was tapping into the Kyubai's power, and Sasuke calls me a dobe. Onii-chan. Crazily enough, it works. Fuck damn it. But then it turns out Kyubai's this little girl who doesn't know what she's doing half of the time and ended up in Konoha for the most ridiculous of reasons. I was chasing Ma tails, but I guess I can't really blame her. I mean, she's a child. Sure, she's got 9 tails. They're pewetty, but she's just a child. In Kitsune standards, she's really like twice as old man Hokage. But I'm cute. Anyway, we ditched the Baka Iro Sennin and visited the Sandame ... who didn't really tell us anything about the seal. Now that I think about it. You're white, Majiwu. But we got to set Baka Sennin up to get his ass kicked by the old man. That's awesome. Amweenie Toadgeezer is Amween. So, I come to my favorite place in the world, Ikaraku Ramen, and here I found out I am Ni-chan. My friend of who knows how many years, happens to also be a kitsune. Really, how disturbingly convenient is that? The Onii-chan. I don't even want to know what happened. I mean, old man Tuchai is human, right? So, Onii-chan. What? Just who are you talking to? Naruto's eyes blinked. His eyes had been looking at nowhere the whole time. He had even let his ramen get cold. Oh crap. Looking around the ramen stand, he was surprised to find out it was empty. Huh? When did everyone leave? Around the time you began your little rant. Aim calmly answered as she replaced Naruto's bowl for a warm, full one. They were already pretty disgusted by your presence, so it was easy to plant a suggestion in their heads and make them leave. You can do that. Naruto blinked in honest surprise ... and a little bit of awe. I'm Kitsune. Manipulating others is what I do best. Naruto gulped and turned to his meal. He wasn't able to taste it, though. Ask her which clan she's from. Naruto sighed. It was a valid question, though. Kinda. Sayuri-chan wants to know which clan you are from, whatever that means. And where's your pops anyway? Tuchai-san, I mean, father suddenly decided to take a short break. He's been working a lot lately. I am winked. As for Sayuri question, Sama's my name is unimportant. Here I am. However, I can tell you my clan is an ally of Higashiyama. I am a river. Okay. What do you mean a river? I am offered him an apologetic gesture. Let's not talk more about this. Not in public like this, I mean. Do you mind if I stop by your place tonight, Naruto-kun? I guess not. Now let me eat before I get a headache. Fair enough. I am smiled, but it wasn't her usual gentle smile. Her new smile seeped amusement and maybe even condescendence. Naruto didn't like this smile. However, that was second to the most immediate matter of his ramen. Screw Kitsune. Screw Jiraiya. Screw Neji ... Wait, that's redundant. Whatever. Itadakimasu. Wadi. Food. Naruto chomped. Sayuri squealed. What? This is so good. What is it? It's ramen. And it's your new favorite food. Yeah, go Wayman. Naruto ate, flooding little Sayuri with an avalanche of unfamiliar yet very welcome sensations. No having eaten anything in almost 13 years, her reaction was quite expectable. Oh, so good. Onii-chan, it's so good. So thick, and soft, and tasty, and salty, and such a estwang scent. I need more. Gimme moar, Onii-chan. Naruto smiled at her enthusiasm. Good to see you're enjoying it. Want some more? Yes, the little Kitsune girl pleaded almost desperately. It's sweet. I want more. Piwias. Onii-chan. Well, here's some more. Naruto filled his mouth with the delicious broth. Oh, yes. So much ... so salty ... so good ... Onii-chan. It's so good. Sayuri became an incoherent trail of moans and whimpers, following the rhythm of Naruto's actions. No so much it's h it's much. I can't what? Had enough. No, don't stop. Oni-chan, please, had absolutely no intention to. A particularly large portion of noodles was eagerly devoured, saturating Sayuri's atrophied taste receptors. Oh, Oni-chan, it's Naruto, paying no heed to his tenant's blissful torture, licked his lips at the visage of the grand finale, the bottom of the bowl, where the ingredients were at their highest concentration. The last gulps of the fantastic meal that separated the heavenly ramen from the other inferior recipes. It called for him. It asked to be ravished, devoured, eaten to the last molecule. And Naruto was eager to please. I'm coming. Wah. Sayuri's voice was an echo of her exhaustion. Onii-chan. Naruto made his last assault, and Sayuri's world exploded. Naruto voiced his satisfaction with a rather nasty burp. That was good, I am-chan. Whose smile had switched back from foxy lady to kind ramen girl, quickly bowed to Naruto's praise. Thank you very much, Naruto-kun. A bowl of steaming beef ramen, coming right up. Naruto grinned viciously at his latest batch of noodly victims. Onii-chan. Sayuri-chan. So, how was the miso ramen? Oni-chan. I love you. Naruto only chuckled. Kami bless his soul. Glad to know you liked it. It was Onii-chan. It was only one thing could make it better. Really? What? Meat. I am Kitsune. I eat meat. Naruto grinned. Really? What an awesome coincidence, then. I have a steaming bowl of beef ramen right in front me. Ready for round 2, Sayuri-chan. What? So soon? No, wait, Oni-cha. Onii-chan. 12 bowls of ramen later, Naruto finally called it quits. That was good. Having no care for manners whatsoever, he wiped the vestiges of broth off his mouth with his sleeve. Thank you very much, I am Ni-chan. Tuchai-san. You're always welcome, my boy. Tuchai replied eagerly, always enjoying the sight of the boy who immensely enjoyed his ramen. I am only smiled kindly. Naruto turned inwards to his little prisoner. What about you, Sayuri-chan? You satisfied? Sayuri-chan must have fallen asleep or something. He muttered to himself. Sheesh, she could at least tell me before she does that. And so, after leaving the ramen stand, Naruto realized he was free for the first time in 3 weeks. With his training under Jiraiya's supervision permanently interrupted and Sayuri immersed in blissful catatonia, Naruto, for once, was alone with himself. Ugh, what to do? I have to do something useful. The finals are in 10 days. So bored. 2.5 hours later, Naruto had yet to find something to do. That's not to say he wasn't doing anything. He was in the middle of a pond, standing on one hand, with leaves stuck with chakra to his toes, his free hand, and his forehead. A bored Naruto comes up with the silliest ideas. It worked because he failed miserably at the first try and realized it would be more difficult than he had originally thought. Basically, he was only doing it out of sheer defiance. He would not be defeated by his own silly idea. Munaya. Sayuri-chan. You're awake. Oni-chan. He hello. Naruto held a chuckle at the cute little yawn that filled his mind. It was really weird, hearing someone else's yawn in his head. Did you sleep well? Yeah. Oni-chan. It was really good. Yeah, I know. Ramen's the best. Wally good. Sayuri insisted. Naruto nodded, making sure the leaf on his forehead wouldn't detach. I know. Thank you. Something wrong? Naruto smirked. Your voice is kinda weird. No, nothing. I just feel kinda weird. Tired and wet. Well, it's kinda wet in there with the pipes and stuff. Naruto finally let the leaves fall and got on his feet. What are you doing, Onii-chan? I just wanted to see if I could pull that off. Seems like I got it just fine. After a few hours. Anyway, we still have nothing to do until night, and there's still some time before dinner. Dinner, Sayuri squeaked. Yeah, so, anyway, I have nothing to do. They walked aimlessly around Konoha, Naruto showing Sayuri many different places, like the academy, and the Hokage Tower, and the market and the library he had never gone to. While most people normally took a wide berth around him, the sight of him talking to himself prompted them to outright clear the streets where he walked. Yuzuka Kiba and Aburame Shino had just departed from the hospital after visiting the third member of their team. While the internal damage had proven to be considerable to the point that she would stay in the health center for another week, the girl was in a surprisingly good mood. Despite her horrible loss, the fact that she had put up a fight and faced the hate of her cousin instead of giving up had helped her lacking confidence. It wasn't much, but it was a good first step. Tiba felt like an ass for suggesting her to forfeit, and he had apologized. Hinata, being the lovely girl she is, cared little for such a thing. Their partners were proud of her. They really were. And then, in front of them, there was the catalyst of that small change. As much as they hated to admit it, Naruto had done more for Hinata with a few rounds of yelling that they had done since they became teammates. Yet the bastard hadn't shown up to visit Hinata in the past 3 weeks. Not even once. For that, he deserved an ass kicking. Oi, Naruto. Naruto turned around to respond to Kiba's loud call, and then froze. His body lost all connections to his brain, as it was clutched by a primal instinct. He knew it came from Sayuri. It was projected from her and claimed possession of him, invading him, overwhelming him. He lost it. Dog. Wah. Hiba and Shino watched in stunned silence how Naruto pointed at the Inuzuka boy, yelled like a loon, made 3 full turns and ran away like a man possessed. They stayed like that for a whole minute, staring mutely at the disappearing figure and the growing cloud of dust he raised. What the fuck just happened? Hiba uttered. The puppy perched on his head only whimpered. Shino's eyes looked to his comrade to his right. It seems I'm not the only one who thinks you really need to take a shower. Oh fuck you, Shino. What the fuck was that, Sayuri? Naruto yelled Raider heatedly. Fortunately, his legs had taken him to a rather desolate place near the edges of Konoha. It was a dog. Dogs are evil. They must burn. Fu Ekamaru. Naruto set his hands on his hips and then crossed them on his chest. He's just a puppy. Wait, burn. And the other one. He was big and dirty and fugly. It was obvious by her tone that she was on the verge of tears. Naruto blinked for a few seconds, processing the information with his rather low-spec processor called brain. He finally laughed. Don't you mean Kiba? I was Scod, Majuo. Okay, yosh, Yash, Sayuri-chan, the big ugly. Naruto struggled not to laugh. Kiba is no longer here, and I won't let that ugly dog hurt you, okay? Okay, Sayuri grumbled between sobs. Thank you very much, Naruto Nai-chan. I adore you. So the great Kyuubi is afraid of dogs. Naruto chuckled as he began the slow walk back to Konoha proper. Once Sayuri had calmed down. We are not fond of dogs. What do you mean, Kitsune? Yup. Why? They're quite audible. And vexing. Their tails aren't even peeweedy. Figures. Finally, Naruto returned to his apartment, promising Sayuri a better tour of Konoha the following day. What is that big white thing, Onii-chan? It's a refrigerator. Naruto replied flatly, reaching for a cupboard in his meager kitchen. What is it used for? Keeping things cold, I suppose. He closed the door above him after grabbing 2 packages of instant ramen. So you lock yourself in there during the summer, huh? Isn't it, then, quite small? Naruto frowned for a moment before smiling amusedly. He most likely considered the idea. No, it's only for eating. To keep it interesting and such. Oh, that's fantastic. Sayuri-chan, that's a terrible pun. He double-checked the ramen's expiration date. Everything is in order. Tihi. Naruto took a pot and went to the sink to fill it. Oh, water. How do you go about doing that? It's sink. Naruto struggled to explain. It's connected to a pipe, and the pipe goes to, I guess, somewhere with water. Cool. That's something we should have at home. Yuri mama wouldn't always send me to the well. Naruto couldn't help but laugh at the thought of Kyuubi being assigned chores by her mother. When the pot was nearly full, he turned off the water. But I always cheated and used Machakwa to make water. You can do that? He asked, carefully placing the pot on the stove and lifting the lid. My name is Nine Tails. I can do anything fire. Cool. I enjoy fire, even if it's a little sky. Alright, can you create a Kitsune summoning contract for me? Maju umweenie kaya. Wah. Naruto took a defensive stance unconsciously, separating his legs and lowering his center of mass. What is it, Sayuri-chan? Wah This, I've got it. Wah happy. Wiggle. What? Said Naruto, raising an eyebrow. Contract for Kitsune summoning. It's finally here. Wah. Naruto made an awkward face as he relaxed his stance. How I was irritated because you made fun of me, and I thought I really wanted a contract as Seawol. But poof, it impressed. Wah hatty. Wiggle. That's extremely convenient. Yahati, and so cool. Having 9 tails is ideal. No, that's just too convenient to be funny. It's like something out of a bad manga. It's almost sad in a way. What exactly is manga? Eh? Blinked Naruto. Sheesh. He scratched his brow. It's like a book like a story but you tell it with pictures. A children's book. No, with more pictures, like nothing but pictures and a few words here and there. Voila show me. Huh? Show me some manga. Naruto exhaled a sigh. He checked the pot's water level. No, not yet. Remember the Kitsune contract. White, come listen. Naruto blinked at the unexpected new problem. And how do I go about doing that? Majuo. Ayame walked calmly through the Konohagakure suburbs, on her way to Uzumaki Naruto's apartment. She hadn't bothered changing her clothes at the ramen stand, opting instead for the head cover. Kitsune's interaction with humans was straightforward. It was easy for them to remain an endless incognita because they were superior creatures in almost every way. While their existence was undeniable, particularly after Sayuri's stunt nearly 13 years before, most humans went their entire lives without ever meeting one. Even those who had come into contact with a kitsune at some point in their lives were rarely aware of it. A kitsune could be a legendary thief, a pretty bar wench, a creepy fortune teller, a smiling midwife, a fantastic acrobat, or an unforgettable one-night stand. Ayame had spent the majority of her life among humans as a field agent and vassal of the Higashiyama clan. She had spent more time with humans than with her fellow kitsune, and she had come to value the primate race for its own sake. What struck her the most was their limitless potential. Humans, given the right stimuli, are capable of anything. A good example is the ninja and their jutsu. Kitsune's chakra abilities are limited, illusions, transformation, and enchantments are their strengths, with a little reinforcement. That is all Kitsune is capable of. Certain Kitsune can perform specific tasks. Only the godlike nine-tailed Kitsune appear to be able to transcend their race's limitations and become avatars of enormous power. Shinobi have complete control over their chakra. Ayame would never be able to summon lightning no matter how hard she tried because she is not a thunder Kitsune. That's just how it is. Another aspect of humans that simply astounded her was their adaptability. Naruto Uzumaki was a prime example of this. She was taken aback when she discovered Naruto had contacted Sayuri. Naruto's eyes were devoid of any negative emotion, according to her. He didn't hold it against Sayuri. If he ever did, he forgave her in the brief time they shared. While she knew it was difficult to hate a cute little thing like the youngest Higashiyama lily, it didn't take away the weight of the horrors Sayuri committed the day she was sealed. Sayuri, unknowingly, killed many people and destroyed many lives that fateful night. She was certain Naruto hadn't told the little Kitsune. While it was admirable of him to protect Sayuri's boundless innocence despite the fact that she's a walking wrecking ball, Ayame knew it couldn't last. Sayuri had to grow the hard way. She had to accept responsibility for her immense power. After all, Kitsune require at least 800 years of experience before gaining the 9 tails. Sayuri was an anomaly, the result of impossible luck and Inari-sama being a really bad drunk. Ayame knocked on the old and filthy door of Naruto's apartment with these thoughts in mind. A smiling Naruto greeted her moments later. "Oh, Ayame Ni-chan, you did come," they said, a few steps away from the small kitchen/dining area. "Perhaps he'll stop now." Huh? Orya. Ayame watched in silence as the real Naruto dashed across the room from left to right, slamming headfirst into the wall, and crashing to the floor with a dull thump. 2 shadow clones approached the prone form with caution. This time, he's actually unconscious, Clone 1 determined. Clone 2 muttered angrily, "I think something broke there." "Do you believe it worked?" Clone 1 shook his head. Ayame's brain finally rebooted, and she responded appropriately. "What in the name of Inari is going on here?" she cried, kneeling by the fallen blonde's right side. The clone who had opened the door for her shrugged and followed her. He explained, "The boss wants to go inside the seal and see Sayuri-chan again. But we don't know how to do it, so we were thinking ... the first time, when Bakero Sennin pushed us off a cliff." Clone 2 took a serious expression, glancing at Ayame to get her attention before returning to the unconscious Naruto. He really thought he was going to die back there, but then it happened, like he was in his mind or something. And he thought maybe he had to do something similar. It was either this or jumping off Hokage Mountain, but I didn't want to leave the house. "Naruto." "Hey," the fully awakened Naruto said, grinning and allowing his clones to assist him in taking a seat. "Wish me luck, boss." "No, just blacked out for a second. Get the kitchen knives out." "Stop it already, Naruto." Onii-chan, exclaimed Sayuri as Naruto and I am entered the large room that housed the jail that held her. She rushed to embrace her new favorite person in the entire world, her arms wide open. When the seal did its job, Naruto and I am winced, the completely incoherent buzzing of electricity only adding to the sense of pain. Majuo was the only sound the twitching nine-tailed kitsune made. I'm sure there's something extremely amusing about that, but I just don't see it, I am stated. Ouch. Naruto was much more concise. Sayuri was purring on Naruto's lap a few minutes later. How come you have the ability to purr? Aren't you a fox? I am a nine-tails, and I am capable of doing anything. Why did I am Ni-chan have to bring me here? Majuo. Naruto smirked. Didn't you just stand there and watch as I cracked my head open? Majuo. Sayuri's Maju says. I am looked on in amusement. Even though it was obvious to I am that the boy was just playing with the little girl. The girl swallowed every single one of Naruto's words. So unlike a kitsune ... and is it just me? Or does Naruto get sick pleasure from teasing her? Who wouldn't want to be able to tease the all-powerful Kyuubi? Alright, you two, let's get down to business, I am said, clapping to get their attention. I am one-chan, ni. I am blushed at the way the mightiest of kitsune addressed her, but maintained her cool. Are you sure, Sayuri-sama? Why are you concealing your tails? I am asked, blinking. She hadn't even thought about it. However, the way Naruto was suddenly staring at her made her feel awkward. I can't show them. You can't. Sayuri's fluffy tails fell and became wet. Aim was perplexed by all the water. I can't. It's little complicated. Sorry, I have 3. I should get my 4th tail in a few years. Okay, Sayuri said, but her tone and expression indicated she was still curious. I am simply changed the subject. The contract, Sayuri-sama. Right, Sayuri exclaimed, waggling her tail. It's white there behind you, she said, pointing behind I am with both fingers and tails. Sayuri-sama. Dripping it's wet, naturally, as one might expect from a scroll resting on a flooded surface. White. Naruto and I am resisted the strong desire to sigh, and smacked the young lady on the head. He took his time signing the contract. Sayuri couldn't stand the sight of blood, not even a prickle, as I am and the boy discovered. Blood is filthy, she exclaimed. As a result, the moment Naruto bit his thumb, Sayuri exclaimed, Kaya, and Naruto's regeneration kicked into high gear, closing the wound in an instant. This only made matters worse because it meant Naruto had to repeatedly injure himself in order to obtain enough blood to sign the damn scroll. On a side note, Naruto was relieved Sayuri wasn't present when he pierced his hand with the kunai on the way to wave. That was quite unpleasant. On a related note, they never attempted to figure out how the bleeding in Naruto's mind thing worked. They chose to accept and be happy for the sake of their mental health. Finally, Naruto wondered how Sayuri hadn't gone on a bloody rampage with all the blood she shed that fateful night 13 years ago. He assumed it was because she was a several hundred-foot tall fox at the time, and she couldn't see the dark spots on the ground for what they were, crushed human beings. Jiraiya would have been surprised to discover Naruto's name had vanished from the Toad contract if he had bothered to check. If you choose Kitsune, you must stick with Kitsune. While the seal effectively bound Naruto to the supernatural world as the vessel of one of its most powerful exemplars, it was the act of signing the contract that made Kitsune an official part of his life. I guess I have a reason to be grateful to the Baka. At the very least, he taught me the hand seals. Naruto grumbled to Iam as they walked to a deserted training area. It would be simple to find one, given that it was late at night. Naruto was surprised Iam could easily keep up with him at ninja roof hopping after leaving the 3 shadow clones to their own devices in the apartment. What? I'm Kitsune. Even if I'm not much of a fighter, I should be able to do this. So, what do you do? Iam laughed. It was, however, a rather unconvincing one. Most Kitsune aren't fighters. Naruto, we just use our powers to stay out of trouble ... and cause some trouble for others in the process. Pranking is in our blood. She sighed. ... You have no idea how much I miss it. Yeah, I miss pranks a little bit. Too ... but now that I'm a ninja, I've got important things to do, yeah. He moved closer to speak more quietly. However, if you ever get the urge, we can still pull a good one on the idiot Sasuke. Naruto found Iam's mischievous Kitsune smirk quite appealing at the time. Sign me up, puny human, I might teach you a thing or two, she teased. Come on, Foxy Ni-chan. Uchiha Sasuke shivered in his sleep on a distant rocky formation. Con. Naruto cocked his brow. Con. Iam chuckled stiffly. Naruto's twitched. Con. Naruto looked at Iam. It's not a Kitsune. Iam shook her head side to side. If we go by semantics, it is. It's a fox, Naruto replied. Iam gave a nod. and it's a rather small kit. Con, Kwaohai, so adorable. Wyog, damn it. Tadpoles first, now tiny foxes. This jutsu stinks. Ian chose not to comment on the fact that the one who sucked wasn't the jutsu. Con, the cute little fox looked up at his summoner, his eyes bright and eager. His fluffy tail swung back and forth like a happy inverted pendulum. You summoned him, and he's waiting, Iam explained. What? Grumbled Naruto, looking down at the happy little thing. Like a request or something. He appears to be quite enthusiastic, Iam observed. Indeed, the little guy seemed to have only Naruto in his sights. Then again, all children are. Naruto smirked. Shouldn't he be concerned, like, suddenly appearing somewhere? Even if he only has one tail and lacks, say, my Urseiri level Samas of intelligence. Iam considered those words for a moment before deciding to accept them. He has an instinctive understanding of what occurred. He knows he was summoned. He knows you summoned him. Naruto knelt and reached for the kit with his right hand. As he reached to lick the rapidly closing puncture wound on Naruto's thumb, the little fox's tails moved even faster. Hey there, little guy, Naruto said as he greeted the newcomer. Naruto had nothing against him despite his summoning failure. Besides, he was rather cute and all. Con, exclaimed the brown little thing joyfully. Naruto looked at Iam. Does he even know what I'm saying? I am not familiar with the mechanics of summoning contracts, but from what I understand, I believe the act of summoning establishes an empathic connection between. She noticed Naruto's drifting expression and her own face went deadpan. He gets it. Ah, okay, cool, he said as he sat back down. The little fox hadn't even opened his eyes. You see, I'm trying to see if I can summon a kitsune. A big one with more than one tail. I didn't mean to summon you, sorry, but you can stay around if you want. Con, sit down. The words of Naruto faded in the night breeze. Cute little foxes frolicked all over the place, some squabbling amongst themselves. Others Sayuri's excited giggles in his head didn't help much. Og, I don't get it. Naruto cried out, falling flat on his buttocks and pouting like a young angry child. To be specific, a younger enraged child. Perhaps you're not using enough chakra. Oh, your brilliant solution is more chakra. It certainly works for me. Of course it works, you're the nine tails. Majuo, Onii Engui, Chans, ugh, I'm not mad at you. Sayuri-chan mu damn it. Iam, whose hands were idly pampered a pair of small foxes, only gave the young boy a compassionate look. Perhaps we should give up on today, and I should go home as soon as possible. Awa, we didn't even get to do anything tonight, did we? Indeed, Naruto-kun, we didn't. Same time tomorrow, she said as she rose to her feet, stretching both arms and legs to improve circulation. Alright just I think I'll stay here a little longer, okay. Naruto looked down, exhausted from a string of failures. Fair enough, Iam said, shrugging. Just don't overwork yourself, and you really should dismiss all these children. I'm surprised nobody noticed all the noise. Iam vanished in ninja fashion. Naruto turned to face the frantic foxes. Okay, guys, it was fun, but you're all going home now. The foxes showed no signs of dissatisfaction with Naruto's command. They all exclaimed Kon, before dissipating in clouds of smoke that filled the entire area. Damn, that was a lot of foxes. Maybe I should just let them loose on Konoha one day and see what happens. With a few exceptions, the entire Konohagakure population cringed in their sleep. Those who remained awake cringed as well. Naruto, on the other hand, appeared to have regained his usual enthusiasm for the day's final test. Alright, let's do it. I'm going to pump a lot of chakra into this one. I can assist. For a brief moment, Naruto's expression became solemn. What's the point if I don't get it myself? I'm not sure what you mean. Naruto exhaled a sigh. Well, never mind, here I go. Asu, Sayuri disconnects from Naruto's vision so that her vessel does not bite his right thumb and draw blood. He slammed his hand on the ground, flashing through hand seals his body had memorized from dozens of repetitions. Kuchiyos no Jutsu, says one. Naruto was blown away by the resulting explosion of white smoke, landing flat on his buttocks. For a split second before the fall, he felt something soft and furry slap his face. Naruto's first thought as the smoke faded away was that he had succeeded. On this one, he could definitely count two bushy, gray silvery foxtails. Two silvery foxtails joined the start of a small, shapely, clearly female rear. Naruto's gaze followed the path of her spine up her back, following the curve of her perfectly shaped, peach-like buttocks. He was able to switch from the back to the front because she was standing with her left profile to him. His gaze was drawn for a split second to her developing breasts, then up to her neck and face. Her two tails were flapping wildly, as if to express her obvious confusion at the situational change. Surprisingly, despite the fact that her tails were rife with activity, her face remained calm and impassive, emotionless in a way that would make Uchiha Sasuke jealous. Two large, crimson eyes, similar to Sayuri's, scanned the area in front of her. When her attention was drawn to the human sitting rather pitifully to her left, she turned to look down at him, exposing her entire naked body to him. Sayuri yelled. Naruto had short, slightly messy silver hair that was kept in a boyish style. He noticed a pair of rather droopy fox ears hung low on her head, which contrasted sharply with Sayuri's, which remained perky except when she was in a bad mood. He saw crimson eyes studying, undressing, and devouring him as if he were the only thing in their universe. He noticed her emotionless, ice-cold stare, which was framed by piercing crimson eyes, a tiny nose, and a flat line of her mouth. He saw everything, but his brain didn't register it until later. His more pressing concern was registering the parts of her body he knew he shouldn't see. He returned his gaze to her cold crimson eyes 2 or 3 seconds later, so as not to be caught staring. Of course, it was far too late for that, but he hadn't received a response yet, so he did what seemed more appropriate. Blue and red eyes met. Her white skin glistened in the moonlight, like a living ice statue. He realized she was drenched all over her pearly skin at that point. Her tail splattered water droplets as she moved. He would later discover that he had summoned her from her night bath. Despite this, she remained motionless, her gaze fixed on his. He couldn't see her cheeks turning pink in the dim light of the night. The newcomer finally spoke after a long minute of silence. Her voice, like her expression, was flat and emotionless. "Are you summoning me?" Naruto simply nodded. The girl stared at him quietly again, as if processing this unexpected turn of events in her alien kitsune mind. "Is there, by chance, no psycho with a spear trying to kill you right now?" Naruto's eyes blinked. He didn't even want to know why she'd asked him such a question. He simply shook his head like a moron. "Very well, who are you?" she inquired. Huh? Naruto didn't make the most impressive of figures sitting like that, with his hands on the ground by his sides. Not after that response, at any rate. The girl, who appeared to be around his age, didn't seem to mind. Well, Naruto could sense her hidden intent even though her voice remained flat. "Please introduce yourself immediately and explain how you came to obtain a contract allowing you to summon me." "Saber, Urami-chan, Majiu, where did that F1 come from?" Sayuri's words reset Naruto's thought processes and brought back an earlier conversation involving excessive Yuri. "Are you Sayuri's sister?" Urami blinked at this. The entire clan was aware of their youngest's predicament, trapped within the body of a human child. It had taken a thorough investigation and several favors to determine what had happened that night nearly 13 years before. Are Naruto Uzumaki? It wasn't a question. Naruto rose slowly to his feet. He was an inch shorter than she was. "Yeah." Urami shut her eyes. Naruto would eventually realize that this meant she was reassessing the situation. "You Uzumaki Naruto," she said again. "How?" Naruto said, dumbfounded. They exchanged stares for what seemed like an eternity to the boy, who was still as lost as anyone could be. He became concerned when the girl began to scrutinize him all over. Unfortunately, the limited lighting provided by the moon above did not allow Naruto to notice Urami's adorable pink blush creeping up her peach-shaped face. "You are Naruto." Yeah. Strange girl. "Hey, Urami-chan is not strange. She's lovely and I adore her." "Onii-chan. Sayuri here. She can't hear you." Urami regained Naruto's attention by taking several steps backwards, clearly wishing to put some distance between them. Even the way she crossed her left arm across her chest to grab her right arm indicated that she was upset. "Excuse me, Naruto Uzumaki." "Huh? You are Naruto Uzumaki." Naruto sighed and rolled his eyes. "Yeah." She smiled as she closed her eyes, and her smile enchanted Naruto for the rest of his life. Under the moonlight, her pearly, moist body glistened, and her silver hair and tails reflected ephemeral flickers of pale light. She smiled like that, under the night sky, in the middle of that forest just outside Konoha, like something from an ethereal, evanescent fantasy. Naruto was certain that he had never seen anything so beautiful in his nearly 13 years of life. It was almost frightening. She reopened her eyes. "Has she yet claimed you?" "Claim? What exactly is it?" Urami slowly shook her head. "No, of course not. That was a rather stupid question." She spoke again, her unwavering gaze fixed on Naruto. "Please accept my apologies," she said, her tone belying her words. "Master, please allow me to introduce myself first." That last word nearly sparked the engine in Naruto's head. The emphasis is on almost. She continued in the same robotic tone that Naruto had grown accustomed to. From this day forward, I am your humble, devoted slave. My name is Higashiyama Urami, but you can call me slave or whatever you want. I'd especially like to be called you sexy thing you. I have no experience, but based on your age, I would assume you don't either. I hope we can learn to enjoy each other's company. I'm not sure if I'll find it unpleasant, but if you insist, I'd be happy to swallow. Let us start with a brief overview of the subtle and ancient Kitsune art of bathing. The Higashiyama clan, for obvious reasons, lacks the many conveniences of human technology. Fortunately for them, their supernatural abilities frequently compensate for this shortcoming. A Higashiyama who wants to take a long, soothing hot bath would have to spend a significant amount of time beforehand preparing the bathtub by feeding wood to the fire. Even so, they'd have to figure out how to keep the fire going for the duration of the bath. While it may seem obvious to ask someone else to do it, in a family of fickle female kitsune, this is unlikely unless one of the two guardians or one of the more helpful lilies is available. Fortunately for the lilies and kitsune everywhere, there is another option. The kitsune fire is one of the fundamental techniques that all kitsune learn almost as soon as they get their second tail. Despite the name, this is not real fire, but chakra in its raw form, shaped into flame and converted to thermal energy by the kitsune's will. It is not fire, but it behaves like it in all the important ways. Actually, it may be more convenient than real fire because it can either ignite or not at the kitsune's discretion. The point is that it can be used to warm water, which one of Sayuri's sisters is doing right now. Higashiyama Yuria relished the simple pleasures of life. Needless to say, she relished spending long periods of time in the bathtub, peacefully languishing while she cleaned every inch of her well-shaped body and rinsed every strand of her ebony hair and tails. After this bath, she would perform a very important ritual that required strenuous physical labor, so there was no reason to take a bath other than for the sheer pleasure of the act. Most kitsune, particularly females, have an almost unhealthy obsession with their bodies, needing to shape themselves into models of beauty, while nature did most of the work for them. As it was extremely rare for a kitsune to be born ugly, it wasn't enough for most. While the overall standard of what it means to be beautiful is nearly the same for everyone, each person has their own quirks and details that shape their own perception of beauty. This setup was frequently exaggerated to obnoxious proportions in a clan made up entirely of females. Looking at Higashiyama Yuri, the clan's matriarch and absolute ruler, it is clear that the basic characteristics of a pure, true Higashiyama female implied the concepts tall and voluptuous. Yuri possessed a beauty envied by almost all kitsune and a shapely body that could drive countless men insane. Tall, with massive breasts, she had a magnificent pair of legs, wide hips, and a shapely rear with 7 perfectly groomed silver tails. But most were too preoccupied with her tall posture and her enormous melons. Kitsune within and outside the clan looked at Yuri's daughters and disapproved of anything that differed from the matriarch's standard, a standard she inherited from her own grandmother. Haimuri, Yuri's firstborn, passed with flying colors, fully deserving her title of Princess Lily. She had the height and the bust, while she resembled her mother little. Having inherited most of her traits from her celestial father, she inherited the two things she needed from her mother, height and bust, and there was no denying she was stunning from every angle. Yuri's second daughter, Yurine, didn't grow up as tall as her mother and elder sister, but she was deemed tall enough, thanks in part to her enormous tits. Hers is larger than Haimuri's, but not as large as her mother's. However, few females can grow a pair as large as those. She was also a ditz and a fantastic cook, which made her even more endearing. Yurine's 2 daughters had also been accepted by kitsune society. While they were still in their infancy, they already had bodies that would draw attention anywhere and make any human teenage girl green with envy. Their entire sweet, sexy dichotomy only added to their overall appeal. Similarly, Yuri's other daughters met the requirements. Yuriko and Yuriko, the twins, were all proud owners of tall, voluptuous bodies. While neither Haimuri nor their mother had grown as tall as Haimuri, the twins were taller than Yurine, and Yurisa was only a fraction of an inch shorter. For these reasons, Yuri's daughters were highly sought after by male kitsune. While their secluded location, strict social rules, and refusal to allow males on their grounds were deterrents, the promise of immense pleasure from mating with one of the stunning Higashiyama lilies was enough to drive many potential suitors. The obvious reaction of the youngest generation of male kitsune would be to turn to the next in line after the big shock of the twins outright declaring that they were not interested in sex with anyone but each other. Three-tailed Yuria had already reached the kitsune equivalent of puberty, and was, to put it bluntly, ready for the taking. Males were dissatisfied. Yuria is petite, as in, extremely brief, awfully brief. It's more like tiny, and, while her breasts may be large enough to appear extremely appealing, any objective eye would recognize that they do not compare to her elder's voluptuous, but not overly exaggerated frames. Yuria's tits are large, but they appear larger than they are because she is so tiny. Furthermore, because Yuria prefers to keep her bust carefully wrapped in bindings, most males who have met the Three Tails are unaware of Yuria's most notorious physical feature. And, while short stature was rarely an impediment to good sex, males were drawn away from the three-tailed lily. It just didn't feel right. Her obvious lack of talent for kitsune arts was also no help. While Yuria appeared to dismiss every single male she met, the truth could not be hidden. Unwanted female kitsune are a disgrace among kitsune. While this could have earned her clan's scorn or even exile, Higashiyama Yuri once again demonstrated her unconventional ways. She was a matriarch, but above all, she was a mother who adored her children. As a result, Yuria is convinced that Higashiyama Yuri is the most incredible and wonderful being on the planet. The twins poke fun at her uselessness whenever they can, but Yuria is fine with it. Because Yuria is convinced. She believes she has a purpose in life. With all her defects and faults, she was brought into this vast world for a reason. She believes that, like Himuri's natural commanding aura, Yurin's malate kitsune jutsu, she, too, is capable of doing something that no one else can. She thinks she can fly. She believes she can soar above her talented, beautiful sisters, despite the fact that genetics robbed her of those blessings. Hard work, enthusiasm, and determination, she believes, are the stepping stones to greatness. She dreams of the day when she will be strong enough to defeat her younger sister and demonstrate to the world that the term genius is meaningless. She hopes that one day her mother will look at her with the same proud eyes she does at her sisters and realize she, too, is a proud princess of Higashiyama. She dreams of the day when she will be recognized as a great kitsune, worthy of praise, respect, and admiration. She hopes to meet a man who believes as strongly as she does one day. That day, he will look at her, and she will look back, and they will love each other for the rest of their lives. Higashiyama Yuria does not realize, as she sobs in mixed joy and sorrow in that bathtub, that she is, in many ways, the most unconventional of kitsune, even more so than her forgiving, caring mother or her ridiculous youngest sister. However, it is a well-known fact that stories about ordinary people are rarely written. Katsura Katanoha was a quiet, amiable kitsune most of the time. She was not one to make many friends, but she was devoted to the few she could call friends. Despite her particularly busty figure, she was unusually distant towards the opposite sex. Not her height, but her distance. She has devoted her entire life to serving Higashiyama-ki, and for the past 52 years, she has served as maid and bodyguard for Yurimi, the second youngest of the Higashiyama sisters. Of course, only Yuri is aware of Katanoha's entire history. None of the daughters, not even Yurimi, know the full story of where she came from or what she did before appearing at the base of Higashiyama with her mother and sister and pleading for sanctuary with an offer of allegiance. They only see a tall, graceful kitsune with breasts to match their mother's, who always carries a sports bag on her left shoulder, and was skilled at Nitoryu, dual-wielding a katana and, of all things, a backsaw. She was ideal bodyguard material, thanks to her river blood's high speed and healing abilities. Then Katanoha showed them the contents of her bag, and they thought she was completely insane. They would never say something like that in front of her, even if they most likely should. Anyway, despite her issues, Katanoha has earned her place in the Higashiyama Shrine, where she is well loved and respected by all. After all, aside from her obvious insanity, she's a very nice woman. As a result, Katanoha was assigned the task of guarding and serving a young Yurimi who had recently turned two tails. She was present during the early stages of her development and was among the first to notice Yurimi's significant talents. She has even considered teaching swordsmanship to Yuri's seventh daughter. She loved Yurimi and had been watching over her for over a half-century. She knew Yurimi was a good girl who hadn't let her incredible talent keep her true feelings hidden from others. It's not a big deal. That was by no means a bad thing. It wasn't like she was emotionless. Yuria-sama could always rile her up surprisingly easily. Yes, Katanoha was devoted to Yurimi. It's no surprise that she was quite preoccupied when Yurimi vanished from the face of the earth that evening. Katanoha immediately reported the situation to the matriarch after ensuring Yurimi had not eluded her by verifying she was nowhere within the clan grounds. While she couldn't hide her preoccupation, the lack of leads forced Yuri to do nothing but wait and hope for the best. She did assure Katanoha that if Yurimi did not return by sunrise the next morning, the clan would devote all of its resources to finding her. Katanoha then returned to the now empty room, Yurumi's room, like all the others in the compound, was spacious despite the lack of furniture and decorations. A Higashiyama's life is comfortable, but not luxurious. At least not in private. The Higashiyamas, like most kitsune, like to appear well dressed in public, but that didn't change the fact that Yurumi's room was small and cramped. The lack of items made the room appear larger, and the only signature of its owner was a collection of scrolls resting on a bookshelf near the corner. This bookshelf sat atop a sturdy desk made of exotic dark wood. 3 drawers on the right side of this desk held a collection of writing utensils that Kotonoha knew Yurumi kept neatly organized. But that was irrelevant. The room felt cold and lifeless without its owner, which worried the guardian. She took a seat on the tatami mat in the opposite corner, to the left of the sliding door. Her dependable blue sports bag sat to her left. Kotonoha crossed her legs and fixed her predatory gaze on the futon in the center of the room, where Yurumi should be meditating. Her left hand rests on the sheath of her katana. Her right hand was on her lap. Katsura Kotonoha looked at the emptiness with samurai eyes. Higashiyama Yuria smiled as she worked on her long mane of ebony hair in front of her body-size mirror. She had to tie the long locks that cascaded down her brow and sides of her head. She wrapped the same white tape around the parts that might come into contact with her face and tied 2 smaller ribbons at the ends. She didn't like the feeling of her hair brushing up against and slapping her face, but she liked her hair too much to cut it short. She also tied a big white ribbon above her tailbone to make sure her hair didn't bother her 3 particularly long and fluffy white-tipped black tails. After a few twirls to ensure everything was properly tied, Yuria laughed, put on a fresh pair of panties, and moved on to the next stage, breast bindings. She took the ritual very seriously for 2 reasons. First and foremost, she was very proud of her bust and the unusual contrast it created with her petite frame. Second, her breasts are extremely sensitive, which is why she wrapped them with extreme care to minimize the effect of sudden movements or unexpected contact, rubbing, or impact. When she was finished, she shamelessly grabbed and pushed the 2 globes from below, testing their firmness and the tightness of the bindings. She winked saucily and moved on to the 3rd phase, clothing, satisfied with how she felt. Unlike Yurin, who only wore it every few days or so, Yuria had made the shrine maiden garments her own, wearing them every day. Her sisters thought she was strange because of it, but Yuria couldn't see it. Because they lived in a shrine, shrine maiden attire made sense, right? On a side note, Yurisa's only daughter, Mayuri, seemed to be following in her mother's footsteps. The point is that Yuria wears Miko clothes because she enjoys them. She wished, however, that the hakama came in colors other than the standard red. It would be fantastic if it came in a brighter, more vibrant color. Consider the color orange. All right, she said to Yuria in the mirror when she was finished. Perfect. She examined her reflection with her hands on her hips. The 2 Yurias exchanged identical smiles. They were stunning. They felt stunning. All right, let's go. Yuria exited her bedroom and closed the door behind her with slow, delicate steps. She took a deep breath ... and then exploded in motion. She took a few steps to Yurumi's bedroom door, which she opened recklessly to make her move. Sneak attack, she triumphantly exclaimed. Be prepared, Yurumi Ike. Once again, silence. Ha. Her caramel eyes were wary as the perfect blade caressed her jugular. I must ask you, Yuria-sama, not to enter the room so abruptly. I might mistake you for an enemy. Yuria's gaze followed the katana's blade to its wielder. Kotonoha. Yo. Her voice was a pitiful squeak. Good morning, Yuria-sama. Could you please? She asked, not daring to swallow. She might be fired. Of course, she says. Yuria's sigh of relief when the katana was sheathed was 16 decibels louder than usual. Only after the threat of Yandir death had passed did Yuria notice the unusual emptiness of the room. What happened to Yurumi? Kotonoha's gaze had never left the center of the room. Not even when she reacted to Yuria's unexpected appearance. She also didn't do it to respond. She is missing, absent. Yuria wasn't a moron. Where has she gone? Kotonoha. The bodyguard detected a change in Yuria's tone of voice. It wasn't just a question. Kotonoha sighed and turned to the 7th of the lilies. Yuria was not about to leave that room anytime soon. She was able to tell. I'm not sure why you're running. Just it's my house that's on fire. Smoldering, blazing, scorching, glowing, flaming, raising to ashes. Everyone is just too loud. The house is going to collapse. Dropping to the ground, plunging, tumbling, sinking, collapsing. Ugh, Naruto groaned, letting his head fall hard on the dining table. What is it, master? Yurumi asked from the front seat, sipping her tea. It was fortunate that Naruto's cupboard contained tea leaves. It was even luckier that they were still edible. Sayuri is singing. Is it the explosion song or the fire song? Another sip. Is there a song about explosions? Yes. Kami, please save me. I'm always amazed by Sayuri's ability to use words to describe acts of blazing destruction. Urami remarked idly. The explosion song. Wow, hi. Onii-chan, ni. Want to hear it? What is the explosion song? Sayuri succeeded. No, thank you. Oni-chan, wa-mu. It's the evolution song. It's a fantastic song. You have to hear it. I am adamant. No, thank you. Sayuri sings it every time something happens. And how frequently do things explode around you? Every time. It's entertaining. So, what about the explosion song? Sayuri, no means no. Majuo. Explosion song. Naruto blinked several times to clear his vision. While Sayuri was a headache in and of herself, Naruto was dealing with a more pressing matter at the time. Sayuri's sister, Urami, drank her tea calmly in front of him, wearing only his signature orange jacket. She complained about the cold outside shortly after her introduction. Then Naruto yelled angrily about her nakedness. Urami then explained that he had summoned her out of the bathtub, and that while she could use her kitsune fire to instantly dry her body, the fact that it was cold didn't change. Naruto quickly removed his signature jacket and offered it to the girl. Here, cover yourself, Naruto offered, suddenly considering turning away. It's a little late for that, boy. Urami accepted the offer right away. You have my thanks, master. When Naruto turned around, Urami was already dressed in the garment. She was rubbing her face and tails against the fabric as well. What are you up to? Remembering Master's wonderful male scent, Urami replied without hesitation. She, too, did not stop, as well as my signature. For a few seconds, Naruto stood motionless. I should not have asked that question. That's not fair. I want to mark Onii clothes chans as well. Naruto sighed. They were on their way to Naruto's apartment when something incredible happened. A strange tingling sensation in Naruto's head interrupted his attempt to leap to the nearest tree. It felt like someone had poked him in the brow with an ice cube. Despite her efforts to hide the orange jacket, Urami couldn't help but notice the sudden change. Is there anything wrong, master? No, it's just ... One of my idiot shadow clones slipped and got scalded with boiling water. There was a long pause. ... And how do I know that? Urami's pupils constricted slightly more than usual. Are they shadow clones? Naruto's eyes twinkled with delight. He responded to Urami's question with a wide grin, putting aside this new intriguing discovery for further investigation. Yeah, the shadow clone technique is my most awesome jutsu. He smirked, making the familiar cross-shaped seal. Take a look at this. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. He had used a lot of chakra summoning so many foxes plus Urami, but he still had enough to summon 4 clones and feel reasonably comfortable. So, what are your thoughts? Naruto inquired eagerly. Isn't it fantastic? Unfortunately, Naruto overlooked Urami's gleaming eyes. ... Master ... is a truly great master. Naruto had been too preoccupied with deciphering the significance of this new development to notice Urami's stare since that moment. He eventually concluded that the memories and experiences of his clones had made their way into his head when they vanished. After adding find possible uses for this to his to-do list, they arrived at Naruto's residence, where he was thoroughly unsettled by Urami's inquisitive gaze. Naruto had to stop her by inviting her to sit down and drink some tea. So, why you are I am I ... Can I call you Urami? I believe I already said you could call me whatever you want, master, but I prefer you sexy thing you or me fine piece of tail. A sip of tea. They'd definitely boost my ego. I don't understand. No, Naruto stated emphatically. Urami. Very well, the girl agreed quickly. Right ... So ... So, you're Sayuri's sister. I am Sayuri's younger sister, the 7th of mother's 8 daughters. The Pewetty Lily sisters, all 8 of them. Damn. Naruto allowed himself a melancholy smile. Wow, that's a big family. Yes, it is, she said, letting the teacup rest on the table to rest her hands on her lap. It can be complicated at times, we have many differences, and we argue quite frequently, but it is a wonderful family. I adore all of my Ni-chans. Mama, too. I adore Mama. I'm hoping I can convey something similar to you, master. Huh? Family. Naruto found Urami's expressionless gaze strangely soothing. It made him feel embarrassed, forcing him to lower his head to avoid her narrow, almost feline-like crimson eyes. Because Sayuri's only eyes of the whole thing. Being called family by Kyuubi of all beings made his eyes water a little bit. I would have to ask you to be patient, though, my master. While I am all for making a family with you, I do think I need further preparation to face the responsibilities of raising offspring. ... Majuo. Urami stared at her summoner for several long, silent seconds. I don't want to have children yet. Kits? Naruto frowned and blushed a little. What does that have to do with anything? Just to let you know in case you are looking forward to it. What? Naruto exclaimed in utter shock and disbelief, while the reddish tinge on his cheeks extended to cover his whole face. No, what makes you think that? I'm only 12. Naruto would be the first to admit he would like to have a big family one day, but that was the last thing in his mind at that moment in his life. Very well. Urami seized her teacup to drink again. But let me make clear that I am definitely not against partaking in the act of reproduction. Urami ni Chana speaks weird. The genin had to close his eyes to fight the rapidly growing headache. This girl made him feel like an idiot every time she opened her mouth. Sayuri sharing his feelings was almost a relief. What? While her expression did not change in the slightest, Naruto felt like she was patronizing him. I don't want children, but I'm not against having sex anytime you'd like. Naruto slammed his face flat on the table before the nosebleed pushed him backwards. What? Urami frowned, albeit a little. I would expect Master to be familiar with the concept. I know what sex is. The thoroughly embarrassed Naruto spat back. Good, Urami acknowledged. I don't. What's sex? Onii-chan. Naruto groaned. Just forget it, Sayuri. Urami blinked. Could it be Does Sayuri Nisama listen to our conversation? Master. Yeah, Naruto muttered, his voice slightly muffled by the table. Wait, Nisama. She might be my younger sister, but she is a 9 tails. I got 9 tails. They're pewetty. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And she must be honored and respected as such. The silver-haired kitsune explained. Naruto pondered Urami's words. The girl seemed to be in reflection. I guess it would be inappropriate to follow with our current line of conversation in Sayuri's presence. She paused while she reached a conclusion. Very well. We can continue determining the terms of our relationship some other time. What relationship? We let on shup. Some other time. Urami repeated, nodding to herself. Master, would you happen to know for how long will I remain here? Naruto blinked, finally pushing his face off the table. No, not really. He paused. But you've already been around longer than anything I've ever summoned. Certainly, my stay has been quite prolonged already. It is admirable, Master. Well, yeah. Naruto chuckled embarrassedly. I've always got a lot of chakra. I see. Urami finished her cup of tea and placed it on the table. It reminds me of a sister of mine. Sayuri. No. Yuria ni-chan. Her chak was huge. Well, it was. Now I've got more cause I'm a 9 tails. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Oh, good for you, Sayuri. I'll set the world on fire. Yuria. That's Naruto winced as he counted in his mind, making his characteristic vulpine expression. The sight of it made Urami redden a little, even if her expression did not change. 61. Then he did realize what Sayuri just said. Wait, what? Indeed. Urami nodded while blissfully unaware of her little sister's unfathomable evil. My immediately older sister. I see Sayuri Nisama has already told you about our family. Yup. Yeah, a little. Makes you wonder if the attack on Konoha was really an accident. In any case, I may assume that Master summoned me for a reason. Okay. Naruto stopped the girl before she could say anything else, even raising his right hand to make a stop sign. Before we say anything else, what's with the whole master stuff? Urami, who at this point was already accustomed to answering Naruto's obvious questions, replied without hesitating. You are my summoner and master, and this is the role I have accepted. As your summon, I am your aide and companion, but it is my choice to devote my entire self to you. Believe me when I tell you I will do my utmost best to assist you and please you in any way you may desire. Why, Urami need the Chan's best. Naruto frowned, though. Is this the power of the contract? Urami calmly shook her head. The summoning contract has no power over us. I and every kitsune you summon from now on decide how much or how little we want to aid you. I will be your most faithful slave, but I must advise you to be careful when dealing with other kitsune. Naruto's look was almost pitiful in his embarrassment. Can you stop that slave stuff, really? But, I am Master's slave. Why should I call myself something other than what I am? But you're not, Naruto insisted, carefully slamming his fists on the table for emphasis. I don't have slaves. I don't want slaves. In a staring contest, Naruto was at an obvious disadvantage. Against a face that remained unchanging no matter the situation, Naruto had to struggle to maintain a firm, steady expression. Eventually, it would be Urami who would break the standstill. Very well. Please look at me however you may wish, Master. But it won't change the fact that I'm willing to do anything for you. Naruto sighed. There was something seriously wrong with this girl. You don't even know me. That is where you are mistaken. Naruto stared oddly. I know you, Master. I know you very well. The Higashiyama clan has been aware of Sayuri and Sama's your situation for more than 8 years. We have 2 kitsune placed in this village, who send regular reports to mother. I managed to read bits and pieces throughout the years. I know you, or at least, I know some of you. And I love the you I know. I did not have a detailed description of your physical appearance, but I had a mental image I conjured in my erotic fantasies. Naruto found himself blushing even when he wanted to look surprised and confused. I was surprised and immensely pleased to see that the you in front of me is strikingly similar to the you I masturbated to. Yurumi's eyes followed Naruto's body as it was blood propelled backwards to the ground in blissful unconsciousness. She did not seem to mind the spray of blood that showered her face as well as Naruto's jacket. So it does happen in real life, she commented in a disturbingly scientific tone. Oni-chan, you okay? What's masturbated? Oni-chan. Ni, why did everything go black? Oni-chan. Naruto awakened the way all anime characters awaken after being rendered unconscious, with a groan. Wa. Oni-chan. Oni I awake. Chan's Oni 5-chan. Naruto winced. Sayuri, be a nice girl and be quiet. Muni-I. Sayuri's a good girl, so she'll stay quiet for Oni-chan. Ugh, thank you. He was surprised and pleased to find out he didn't have to adjust his eyes to the light, as there was not any. He was embraced by the dark comfort of his bedroom ... and by a pair of arms. In the still silence of the late night and the fulfilling warmth of his bed ... Wait, it wasn't feeling that warm at all. Anyway, Naruto gained full awareness of his situation. Urami, master, good to see you are awake. Yeah. You carried me here. I had to use a considerable amount of chakra to strengthen my tails. I am afraid my time with you might be coming to an end. Thanks, I guess. Naruto could feel the 2 tails, one tickling his belly and the second resting on his right leg. So ... why are you naked? I am not accustomed to wearing clothes on my resting place. Huh? Yet another all too familiar pause. I sleep in the nude. Oh, I guess that explains it. Naruto stared at the old ceiling. That crack wasn't there before. Then, why am I naked? After feeling you up, Urami paused. Feeling your skin, I came to the conclusion that it was abnormally cold. I decided to share my body warmth in the hopes that it would restore you to health. Naruto mused. I actually got that. But, Urami, yes, master, would that coldness of mine have anything to do with the half-dozen ice cubes I can feel under my back? Hey, it tickles. Quiet. Sayuri's quiet. Only half a dozen. The others must have I have no idea what you are talking about. Where did you get the ice from anyway? I have no idea what you are talking about. The fox girl repeated. Why the hell am I asking this? Just what do you think you are doing? Fully awake, Naruto was ready to complain about his situation, until he made the mistake of looking at Urami. From so close, her nose being no more than 4 inches from his, the experience was dramatically different. It was then when Naruto finally came to realize that the girl in front of him was not human. She was kitsune, an existence to which the boundaries of human knowledge, wisdom, and beauty are inexistent. It was like when he first summoned her, but the proximity amplified the experience at least tenfold. Her crimson eyes, fixated on his, were like liquid, bloody moons, glimmering with the light from an unknown star. Her smooth, flawless, milky skin, her silver tails, her body as a whole seemed to be designed to be translucent, to reflect the beauty of the phantasmagoric night and resonate into a single being of ephemeral beauty. He opened his mouth to pronounce words that refused to leave his throat. He noticed her blinking, as if the sight of his slightly parted lips had triggered something. And maybe it did. Naruto's eyes widened in alarm when Urami's lips inched closer to his, but there was no resistance. His body, his mind, and his heart, it seemed, were eager for whatever she was willing to offer. Mujai. Naruto's eyes blinked. Urami's eyes closed as she reached contact. Urami. Yes. Her tone was husky, quiet, eager, erotic. Your tail is on fire. It took her 2 whole seconds to compute the sentence, another second to open her eyes, and 3 more seconds to realize that, indeed, one of her tails had spontaneously combusted. I blessed. Watching her run like a fox out of hell. How could Naruto know that it would be one of the very few occasions he would see Urami explode in emotion like that? Sure, it was sheer terror, but it was an emotion nonetheless. The sound of running water told Naruto that Urami managed to save her lovely silver tail. Sayuri. Her angry voice roared from behind the door. Respect for the 9 tails be damned. Explain yourself. I didn't do it. Right? Naruto rolled his eyes. Majuo. And so we. Boo but. I dunno ... but I. Iwally wanted to set Urami-chan on fire. Naruto's eyes blinked. In the warm comfort of his bed, the vessel of a pyromaniac reflected on what had just happened. I don't know if I should be thankful or scared out of my wits. I'll go with both. I forget. Oni-chan. What's masturbated mean? Naruto's eyes blinked. At a second time, for good measure. Good night, Sayuri. Rolling on his right side, he wrapped himself on the sheets, but not before reclaiming the t-shirt Urami had taken off him in his unconsciousness. He was not up to giving sleeping in the nude a try. Oni-chan. Nao, tell me. Oni-chan. You there? Tell em we. Peewees. Tewati peewees. Moonei. With a tired groan, Naruto acknowledged the beginning of what seemed to be a very long night.
I will continue the story next part. Till then, we weep offline.